Ibori misappropriated $200 million. I told him to return 150, but he took 50 million to Nuhu Ribadu Obasanjo. Okay. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has revealed former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, misappropriated $200 million, but only returned $15 million out of the money. The incident happened when both Obasanjo and Ibori were in government between 1999 and 2007. Obasanjo gave the revelation while addressing accusations leveled against him by the late former governor of Bayelsa State, Dipraye Alamisiega, and Ibori that he is vindictive. Addressing the accusation in an interview with Trude, the former president said, "Oh wow, these people, let them give chapter and verse. If Ibori has said it, I hope he has not, but if you say he has said it, what happened to Ibori?" EFCC investigated Ibori and found that Ibori misappropriated about $200 million, and they brought the report to me and I said, "Ibori, come, look at the report. Assuming you have spent 50 million, go and give EFCC 150 million. Then he came back and said, "Where should we put it?" I said, "It's your state money, give it to your state." I said, he said, "How can I do that?" Opened a central bank account for him, which I did. Then he came back and said, if he just put the money in central bank belonging to Delta, I should open central bank accounts for all states. I did. Then he thought he was being clever. He took 50 million cash to Nuhu Ribadu, and Ribadu came to me and I said, put it in the account in the central bank. Then we still pursued it. So he was pursued up to London, where he went to prison. So if that is vindictiveness, I would say let Nigeria have more of such vindictiveness. You know what's very controversial? Or who is very controversial? Will I say controversial? It actually is Obasanjo. Because, I think Nigeria's problem is that we actually forget. I don't know if a spell is cast on us as like people, but we genuinely do tend to forget because, first of all, it's very strange how Obasanjo is seen as that person that everyone wants to get approval from. I guess obviously he's a top dog in their political space, but with the things that he's done, and when it comes to misappropriating of funds and leadership in general, and Obasanjo having to expose who and who, so Obasanjo has basically just shown that he wasn't basically able to call Ibori to order. I mean, that's what I can see here. Because what you did was to advise this man, and now you are here telling us that, well, I told him that, he should return 150 million, but he did not listen. He now tried to be smart, and then Obasanjo now gave us a whole story of central bank accounts and why he should put. That's not the point. The point is that you are basically aware of, at the time when he was misappropriating funds, and you literally said, well, he pursued it, and he pursued it up to London, where he was found, and he went to prison there. So this is not necessarily him being vindictive. How is Obasanjo being vindictive? He was actually the opposite. He did not clearly hold Ibori accountable. He did not tell him that if you don't do this, I will do this. No, he just gave him advice. Ibori did not listen. He basically tried to help Ibori out, because technically, if Ibori had taken advice and then we didn't find out about all this, then it would just be history and no one would know. But Obasanjo basically showed that he gave Ibori advice to cover Ibori's ass. And here we are today. And Obasanjo's stance is technically, well, I advised him, he didn't listen, and look at him. And I'm like, wait, what? So wait, are we meant to clap for Obasanjo and say, wow, you've done an amazing job? You see, this is the problem, and I think we have to be very careful not to fall for the narrative that is being put out there, because we won't fall for it. Let's get this comment. Someone says, that's why Nigeria is not getting better. Even if you don't like Obasanjo, for the fact he did what was good for the people of Delta State, you should at least appreciate him for that. $200 na beans. I'm like, that's the thing. As I say, Nigerians tend to forget, we tend to forget sometimes the individual that's talking and the history that they have first. And secondly, because we tend to forget, we accept. Things go wrong, we just eventually accept. We accept. And what happens? The moral fiber starts to decay. What we accept as normal, is now abnormal, and then we let things go. We don't hold people accountable. It shows how far we've gone and how there's really no hope. Because if somebody steals and says, well, the people in government are stealing 200 million naira, I'm only stealing 15,000 naira, did I kill somebody? Making comments like that just shows how far we've gone. And to be honest, is there a turnaround? I don't know. So this is basically what's happening here is a consequence. Not even a consequence. It's basically how, integrity and, character has basically decayed for so long. And it starts by this situation. Both of these individuals were clearly in power. And don't get me wrong, people will do what the bad things they need to do. But then Obasanjo exposing it in a way where we then have to thank him and put himself in a good light because he's older now, not in office but respected. I really don't get it, because it doesn't absolve Obasanjo from the fact that you knew about this crime. You advised on the right thing to do, but if you're in power, shouldn't you have a bit more of a stance than that? I'm just saying. Anyways, put what you think about it in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.